What if I told you that somewhere on Earth, a river is so hot it can boil animals alive, that an entire continent has been hiding beneath the ocean for millions of years? Or that there's a place where it has never rained in recorded history? Our planet is far stranger than most people realize. Beneath familiar maps and landscapes lie incredible secrets that sound like science fiction. Yet every one of them is real, from impossible mountains and mysterious islands, to oceans, deserts, and places that seem to defy the laws of nature. These are 25 geography facts that sound too crazy to be real. The Boiling River. Hidden deep within the Peruvian Amazon is a river that seems impossible. At first glance, it looks like any other rainforest river. Crystal clear water, thick jungle on every side. Birds calling from the trees, but beneath the peaceful surface lies a deadly surprise. In some places, the water reaches temperatures of nearly 93 degrees Celsius, hot enough to cause severe burns in seconds. Small animals that accidentally fall into the river often cannot escape. For centuries, indigenous communities knew about its existence and regarded it as a sacred place. Many outsiders dismiss the stories as myths because there are no active volcanoes nearby to explain such extreme heat. But modern research revealed the truth. Rainwater seeps deep underground, where Earth's internal heat warms it before it rises back to the surface through cracks in the Earth's crust. The result is one of the most extraordinary rivers on the planet, a place that seems to ignore everything we think we know about nature. And as unbelievable as that sounds, the next discovery isn't just a river, it's an entire continent that almost disappeared from the map. The lost continent beneath the ocean. Imagine discovering an entire continent, not on another planet, but here on Earth. For centuries, no one realized it existed. Hidden beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean lies Zealandia, a landmass so enormous that it's nearly 5 million square kilometers in size, about 2/3 the size of Australia. Yet remarkably, 94% of it is underwater. Only a few peaks rise above the surface, forming the islands we now know as New Zealand and New Caledonia. For decades, scientists believed these islands were simply isolated pieces of land. But after years of geological research, they uncovered something extraordinary. They weren't isolated islands at all. They were the highest points of a sunken continent. Around 85 million years ago, Zealandia began separating from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana. As Earth's tectonic plates shifted, the continent slowly stretched, thinned, and gradually sank beneath the Pacific Ocean. Unlike the legendary city of Atlantis, Zealandia is real. In 2017, geologists officially presented overwhelming evidence that it meets the scientific requirements to be recognized as Earth's 8th continent. Even today, researchers continue mapping its hidden mountains, valleys, and ancient rock formations buried beneath the sea. It's a powerful reminder that even in the age of satellites and modern technology, our planet is still keeping remarkable secrets. And if you think hiding an entire continent is incredible, wait until you discover the only place on Earth where 4 states meet at a single point. 4 states, 1 point. What if you could stand in 4 different states at the exact same time? In the southwestern United States, there's a unique place called the Four Corners Monument, where Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico all meet at a single point. It's the only location in the entire United States where 4 state borders intersect. Thousands of visitors travel there every year to place one hand and one foot in 4 different states simultaneously, a geographical feature found almost nowhere else in the world. But while this landmark is incredibly rare, our next geography fact reveals a place where it has never rained in recorded history. The driest place on Earth. Imagine living in a place where it almost never rains. Welcome to Chile's Atacama Desert, the driest non-polar desert on Earth. Some weather stations here have never recorded a single drop of rain, and parts of the desert are believed to have gone hundreds of years without significant rainfall. The landscape is so dry and lifeless that NASA has used it to test equipment designed for future missions to Mars. Its extreme conditions make it one of the closest places on Earth to another planet. Yet despite its harsh environment, tiny organisms and specially adapted plants have somehow managed to survive. And if you think a desert that rarely sees rain is unbelievable, wait until you discover a lake that can turn animals into stone. The lake that looks like it turns animals to stone. At first glance, Lake Natron in northern Tanzania looks almost otherworldly. Its deep red waters and high mineral content make it one of the most unusual lakes on Earth. The lake is so alkaline that animals which die in its waters can become naturally preserved, leaving behind eerie remains that look as if they've been turned to stone. Despite these extreme conditions, one species thrives here. Every year, millions of lesser flamingos gather at Lake Natron to breed, taking advantage of an environment where few predators can survive. It's a place where death and life exist side by side. And it's unlike anywhere else on Earth. But if you think nature can't get any stranger, our next location is a waterfall that appears to flow into the sky. The waterfall that flows upward. Water always flows downhill. Or does it? At Nanghat Waterfall in western India, powerful seasonal winds can be so strong that they force the falling water back into the air. Instead of crashing to the ground, the waterfall appears to reverse direction, creating the incredible illusion that it's flowing upward. This rare phenomenon only occurs under the right weather conditions, when fierce updrafts overpower gravity for a brief moment. To anyone seeing it for the first time, it looks as though the laws of physics have suddenly stopped working. But while this waterfall seems to defy gravity, our next geography fact reveals an island where time itself moves differently. The island where two different days exist. Imagine standing on an island where one side is living in tomorrow, while the other is still in yesterday. That's exactly what happens on Diomede Islands, two small islands in the Bering Strait between Alaska and Russia. Only about 3.8 kilometers or 2.4 miles separate them. But because the international date line passes between the islands, they're almost 24 hours apart in time. Big Diomede belongs to Russia. Little Diomede belongs to the United States. On a clear day, people can actually see tomorrow from across the water. It's one of the few places on Earth where geography and time collide in the most extraordinary way. But if you think crossing into another day is unbelievable, our next destination is a place where the ground itself burns without ever going out. The crater that has been burning for over 50 years. Imagine discovering a crater that's been on fire for more than half a century. In the heart of Turkmenistan lies the Darvaza gas crater, better known as the Door to Hell. In 1971, Soviet engineers accidentally drilled into an underground natural gas pocket, causing the ground to collapse. To prevent toxic methane from spreading, they set the crater on fire, expecting the flames to burn out within a few days. They never did. More than 50 years later, the crater is still burning, with flames reaching several meters into the air. Day and night, the fiery pit glows across the desert, creating one of the most surreal landscapes on Earth. But while this fire was started by humans, our next geography fact reveals a natural cave so enormous that it has its own weather system. The world's largest cave has its own weather. Hidden beneath the jungles of Vietnam lies a cave so enormous. It has its own clouds, river, and even a rainforest. Welcome to Doong Cave, the largest cave on Earth. Stretching over 9 kilometers, or 5.6 miles long, parts of the cave are so massive they could fit an entire 40-story skyscraper inside. Collapsed sections of the cave's ceiling allow sunlight to pour in, creating isolated jungles where plants, animals, and unique ecosystems have flourished for thousands of years. The difference in temperature between the cave and the outside world even creates its own weather, with mist and clouds forming deep underground. It's less like a cave, and more like a hidden world beneath our feet. But if you think a cave with its own rainforest is unbelievable, our next geography fact reveals a place where lightning strikes more than anywhere else on Earth. The most lightning-struck place on Earth. Imagine witnessing a lightning storm that happens almost every night. At Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela, a phenomenon known as the Catatumbo Lightning produces one of the most intense and consistent lightning displays on Earth. For up to 260 nights a year, Lightning can flash thousands of times across the sky, sometimes lasting for hours. Scientists believe the storms are created by warm, humid air from the Caribbean, colliding with cool air descending from the Andes Mountains. The result is a spectacular natural light show so powerful that it's visible from hundreds of kilometers away. For centuries, sailors even used these glowing skies as a natural lighthouse. But while the sky can light up with thousands of lightning bolts, our next geography fact takes us to a place where the Earth itself seems to have every color imaginable. The Rainbow Mountains of China. Imagine standing before mountains that look as if they've been painted by hand. Welcome to Zhangai Dangxia Landform Geological Park in China, home to some of the most colorful mountains on Earth. Layers of red, orange, yellow, green, and blue stretch across the landscape, creating a scene that almost looks digitally enhanced. But these vibrant colors are completely natural. Over 24 million years, layers of sandstone and minerals were compressed, uplifted by tectonic forces, and slowly carved by wind and rain into the breathtaking formations we see today. What looks like a giant artist's masterpiece is actually millions of years of Earth's geology on display. But while these mountains are bursting with color, our next geography fact reveals a place where the ground is so hot, it can literally melt your shoes. The hottest place on Earth. What if the ground beneath your feet was hot enough to burn through your shoes? In northeastern Ethiopia lies Dallol, one of the hottest and most extreme places on Earth. Average daytime temperatures regularly exceed 34 degrees C, 93 degrees F, year-round, making it one of the hottest inhabited regions ever recorded. But it's not just the heat that makes Dallol extraordinary. Its landscape is covered in bright yellow, green, and orange pools of highly acidic water, created by volcanic activity and mineral-rich hot springs. The result is a place so alien that scientists often compare it to the surface of another planet. Yet despite these brutal conditions, researchers have discovered microscopic life forms capable of surviving in this seemingly impossible environment. If life can exist here, it may also exist in some of the harshest places beyond Earth. But if you think this landscape looks like another planet, our next geography fact reveals a place where two oceans meet, but never fully mix. The place where two oceans meet. Imagine standing where two mighty oceans collide, yet instead of instantly mixing, they appear to remain separate. One of the best places to witness this phenomenon is at Cape Agulhas, South Africa, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet. It's a breathtaking reminder that even the world's oceans have unique identities, but while two oceans slowly become one. Our next geography fact takes us to a place where an entire island suddenly appeared out of the sea. The island that was born overnight. What if a brand new island suddenly appeared in the middle of the ocean? In 1963, fishermen off the southern coast of Iceland witnessed exactly that. A powerful underwater volcanic eruption broke through the Atlantic Ocean, creating a brand new island known as Surtsey. Over the following months, lava and volcanic ash continued to build the island until it rose more than 170 meters above sea level. But the real story was only beginning. Scientists protected Surtsey from human interference, turning it into a living laboratory to observe how life begins on completely new land. First came bacteria and fungi, then mosses and plants. Soon, birds arrived, carrying seeds that transformed the once barren island into a thriving ecosystem. Today, Surtsey offers scientists a rare glimpse into how nature builds an ecosystem from nothing. But while this island rose from the sea, our next geography fact reveals a waterfall so powerful that it creates its own permanent rainbow. The waterfall that creates permanent rainbows. Imagine a waterfall so powerful, it creates its own weather. At Victoria Falls, on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe, more than 500 million liters of water plunge over the edge every minute during peak flow. The impact sends enormous clouds of mist thousands of feet into the sky. When sunlight passes through the spray, brilliant rainbows appear almost every day. On nights with a full moon, visitors can even witness the incredibly rare moonbow, a rainbow created by moonlight instead of sunlight. It's one of the few places on Earth where rainbows can appear both day and night. But while this waterfall creates beauty, Our next geography fact reveals a forest where the trees themselves seem to bleed. The trees that bleed. Cut into the bark of the dragon blood tree, and something incredible happens. A thick, dark red sap begins to flow, making it look as though the tree is bleeding. Found mainly on Surtsey Island, Yemen, this ancient tree has evolved its unique umbrella shape to survive the island's harsh climate. For centuries, its crimson resin has been used in medicine, dyes, and traditional rituals. But while these trees look like they're bleeding, our next geography fact reveals a place where the earth literally disappears beneath your feet. The largest sinkhole on Earth. Imagine a hole in the earth so massive it has its own forest. China's Zhangjiajie, often called the Heavenly Pit, is the world's deepest known sinkhole, plunging over 660 meters, 2,165 feet. Hidden inside are rare plants, unique wildlife, and even an underground river. It's like an entire lost world hidden beneath the surface. But if you think that's unbelievable, our next geography fact reveals a place where the desert suddenly bursts into flowers. The desert that blooms overnight. For most of the year, Chile's Atacama Desert looks completely lifeless. But after rare rainfall, something extraordinary happens. Millions of wildflowers suddenly bloom across the desert, transforming one of the driest places on Earth into a sea of vibrant color. Known as the Desierto Florido, this spectacular event only happens under the right conditions, making it one of nature's rarest displays. But while this desert bursts with life, our next geography fact reveals a place where the ground burns with blue flames. The volcano with blue fire. Most volcanoes glow red, but Indonesia's Kawah Ijen burns with electric blue flames. The fire isn't actually blue lava. It's sulfuric gases escaping through cracks in the volcano, igniting as they reach the air and creating an eerie blue glow at night. It's one of the rarest natural spectacles on Earth, and it looks like something from another planet. But while this volcano glows blue, our next geography fact reveals a place where the Earth can split apart before your eyes. The place where the Earth is tearing apart. What if you could stand where two continents are slowly drifting apart? In Thingvellir National Park, Iceland, the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates are gradually separating. Every year they move a few centimeters farther apart, creating deep cracks and dramatic landscapes. It's one of the few places on Earth where you can literally walk between two continents. But while Iceland is slowly being pulled apart, our next geography fact takes us to a lake so perfectly reflective, it looks like a giant mirror. The world's largest mirror. After heavy rainfall, Bolivia's Salar de Uyuni transforms into the world's largest natural mirror. A thin layer of water covers the massive salt flat, perfectly reflecting the sky above. The horizon disappears, making it almost impossible to tell where the Earth ends and the sky begins. It's one of the most breathtaking optical illusions found anywhere on the planet. But while this place reflects the sky, our next geography fact reveals a waterfall that disappears before it reaches the ground. The waterfall that never reaches the ground. Imagine watching a waterfall, only to see it vanish before it touches the ground. At Nokkalikai Falls in India, and during certain windy conditions at other towering waterfalls, powerful updrafts can blow the falling water into a fine mist before it reaches the base. From a distance, it looks as if the waterfall simply disappears into thin air. It's a breathtaking illusion created by the forces of nature. But while this waterfall seems to vanish, our next geography fact reveals a place where the Earth boils from below. The place where the Earth breathes. Deep in the Nevada desert lies a mysterious sinkhole known as Devil's Hole. The water inside rises and falls on its own, even when there's no rain or wind. The reason? Powerful earthquakes, even those occurring thousands of kilometers away, can send shockwaves through the Earth, causing the water to suddenly surge and slosh. It's as if the planet itself is breathing. But while the Earth can make water move, our next geography fact reveals a place where an entire river disappears underground. The river that disappears. Imagine watching an entire river simply vanish. In Slovenia, the Reka River flows across the landscape before suddenly disappearing into the vast Skokjan caves. Instead of continuing on the surface, The river travels for kilometers through underground tunnels before emerging again many miles away. It's one of the world's most spectacular underground river systems, and a reminder that some of Earth's greatest wonders are hidden beneath our feet. But if you think a disappearing river is unbelievable, our final geography fact is even more incredible. It involves a place where the compass itself stops making sense. The place where your compass can fail. Near the North Magnetic Pole, your compass doesn't always point where you expect. Unlike the geographic North Pole, the magnetic pole is constantly moving, drifting dozens of kilometers every year as molten iron shifts deep within Earth's core. Because of this, maps and navigation systems must be updated regularly. It's an invisible reminder that even the ground beneath us isn't as fixed as it seems. Our planet is alive, always changing, and still full of incredible mysteries waiting to be discovered. Earth is filled with places that challenge everything we think we know. From boiling rivers and hidden continents to glowing volcanoes and moving magnetic poles, these incredible geography facts prove that our planet is far stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next adventure.